Justin Herbert versus Joe Burrow. This is an interesting concept when you think two of the more highly drafted quarterbacks in the entire NFL, other than Tua, obviously. But so far in the NFL, if I had to pick one, this is a tough thing to consider. We've got, on one hand, we've got Justin Herbert, who I believe, and I've got a couple of points here, he's shown more of a gunslinger mentality and better overall throws. I'm not saying that he is the better quarterback. I'm saying so far he's shown that to me. And I think he has looked generally better than Joe Burrow. Now, again, I don't think this means that Justin Herbert is necessarily better than Joe Burrow, but the NFL it's a very much how have you looked lately league. It's so important, like fire for a team, continuity, everything like that. How you've looked recently that's how the NFL is these days. Currently, through 8 games of the NFL season, Justin Herbert has his team 1-6. That's not ideal. Excuse me. No, they're not. That is a lie. They are. His record as starting quarterback is 1-6. I apologize. But the Chargers, obviously, they had Tyrod Taylor. They are 2-6. So I apologize for that. But point is, he has them at 1-6. With the starting 7 games, he has completed over 67% of his passes, thrown for over 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He has ran the ball 33 times. Now, Burrow and Herbert here are kind of similar in the way they run the football. Both have ran the football around 30 times for about Herbert has about 30 more yards than Burrow, but I don't necessarily think that he's more explosive. I think that but both have 3 rushing. I lied again. Joe Burrow has 3 rushing touchdowns and Herbert has 2. So if we're talking in terms of impact, I probably say that Herbert has probably a little bit of a leg up here. But overall, there's no disputing that Herbert has looked better than Joe Burrow this time around. He really has looked better than Joe Burrow. Now, again, I would make the argument, too, that Joe Burrow has I would say, a better supporting cast. Not his offensive line. That's a whole different issue. I realize his offensive line is awful. I'm not talking about that. A.J. Green, Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, the list goes on. And if you're asking me, now the Chargers have some dudes. Now, Keenan Allen is Austin Eckler. I mean, we can keep going too. But I'm taking Joe Burrow's surrounding staff, or his surrounding teammates, way easier than the Chargers. And it's nothing against the side of the Chargers. They've got some weapons now. But it's clear to me that the Bengals have a way better supporting cast in terms of offensive weaponry than the Chargers. I mean, you look at it. Also, you got to keep in mind they got the Chargers have Joshua Kelly again, Austin Eckler, Justin Jackson's even shown some stuff this year. Keenan Allen, 650 yards on 62 catches and 4 touchdowns. Hunter Henry doing his thing. Mike Williams. It's clear to me, especially, that the Bengals clearly have the way better offensive supporting cast, and it's not even a debate if you ask me. So Joe Burrow, yes, he's running for his life in a way, but he also has a way better supporting cast. Joe Mixon, I take Joe Mixon 10 times out of 10 over Austin Eckler. No disrespect, Austin Eckler is a great running back. I think anybody would be ecstatic to have him, but I take Joe Mixon. I really do. I've seen more of Joe Mixon. He's a better player. I believe he's more of a natural catching back out of the backfield. And he's clearly a better runner. And then he's a better runner. That's all. He's a better running back. I take Joe Burrow's supporting cast over Justin Herbert's any day. Any day. If you put Justin Herbert on that team with his offensive line, because his offensive line is not bad. It's pretty good. If you put Justin Herbert's offensive line with that team and give him his own defense in San Diego, I believe San Diego's defense is better than the Bills, not by much at least, but I think that the Bengals with Justin Herbert's defense and his offensive line, that's a scary team. That is a scary team that I think could threaten the likes of the other teams in their division. Now, again, I realize that you can't just take and pick and choose, but I'm saying it is very clear that Joe Burrow's supporting cast is mountains and miles better than Justin Herbert's. It's not even a debate. I mean, I realize that one of those things where you can't necessarily pick and choose again. But it's just he's got so many weapons, Joe Burrow. So there's no excuse if you're Joe Burrow, except other than the fact that he's a rookie. So again, understand that he's got some growing up to do. So I totally get it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what we see from him. I think this year was kind of a little rougher thing. I mean, obviously, the Bengals got, 3 teams ahead of them that could honestly go to the playoffs. So, it's sitting at 2-5-1. You've got the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Browns. So, obviously, they're in a good division. But I think this year was a little bit of a rough coming out for Joe Burrow to come out the gate. Justin Herbert got to sit behind Tyrod Taylor, but there was no knowing how he was going to do. Joe Burrow, through 8 games, is 2-5-1. He's won one more game than Justin Herbert, who has played 7 games. He was 1-6. Joe Burrow is completing 67% of his passes, so slightly 0.3% less than Herbert. He has thrown 11 touchdowns and the same amount of interceptions, so less touchdowns, the same amount of interceptions, has less rushing yards. And I think that it's indicative of, again, his offensive line gives him no time. I'm not even going to debate that. I know that's 100% true. That's true. But his supporting cast, Joe Burrow's supporting cast, is mountains better than Justin Herbert's, and it's not even close. I just had to say that. So right now, if I'm choosing in terms of quarterback play, I'm picking Justin Herbert. I know that it was a really long way of saying it, but he has shown to be a better quarterback. He's shown to take more chances, and they have proven to be better. He's got a rocket of an arm. He stands in the pocket. So right now, at this point in time, I would take Justin Herbert over Joe Burrow.